So these videos are a lot worse to make when things go wrong. Down here at the beautiful Bowood Golf Club, this week I have the English PGA Championship, probably one of the biggest events I'm going to play in this year. So what I'm going to do is go around the front nine here, talk you through the shot time playing, some of the strategy I'm also going to be employing around this golf course, play in the tournament, and then of course report back on those results. Now these Quest for the Open videos are all based around me going through competitions. It's such a nice night here, seeing what I learn and then giving that information back to you guys. So if there are any specific topics you want to see covered, get down into those comments below. Also, if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon. So 3 steady-ish pars to begin with there, but now I'm on a hole which requires a bit of a decision. It's a par 5 and normally it'd just be like, well, let's blast a driver and give it a go. However, this hole has a few subtleties that we need to take into account. First of all, we need to figure out the line. So down here, there's a bunker on the left, which if I want to lay up short of that, I have to go with that with basically a 3-wood. It's 298, so 300 yards to get it past that bunker. The bunker on the right-hand side, however, that's 280 yards to clear off this tee. So if I take it with a driver at that bunker and it cuts a little bit, that would be perfect. There's also something else to think about though. You see, this hole is the thick end of 570 yards, 573 yards to be precise. So if I smash a drive, yes, I should be able to get there in 2, but is it a case of laying up and being safe? So I'm going to hit 2 shots here. I'm going to hit a driver and then I'm going to hit my 3-iron. I'm going to play the hole through and see which one is a better option. I'm also going to talk through my pre-shot routine. So with the driver, I need to establish the type of shot and shape that I'm going to hit. So that bunker on the right hand side, that is my target to clear. With my fade, I'm going to start it just to the left of that bunker. So I know that if it fades around, it's going to move to the right. But if I cut it a little bit too much, it still has a little bit of margin for error. This is a high tariff shot. The way I pick my target line and the way I'm trying to see shapes is if I look down this hole, there's a tall tree just to the left of the bunker. That's going to be my target line, and I'm just going to imagine while I'm on my practice swings that the ball is starting on that and cutting off that line. I then draw a line from that target back to the ball and then pick out something which is just in front of the ball here. And I know if I put my usual swing on it, it'll cut to the right. Oh, I've hit it well. I've just pulled it a bit, and that, yeah. So that's basically pitched on the top of the back bunker. So with the 3-iron, I can be a little bit safer here. So I'm going to take aim at the left edge of the back bunker. Now the left edge of the back bunker, I'm never going to reach it with this club, but I might sneak into the right-hand fairway bunker if I absolutely rip this and push it massively. Oh, I did that beautifully. Right down where I wanted it to land. I'll do. Okay, let's talk about chipping and how you should visualize shots. I've got an option here where I can play a couple of different variations of getting the ball on the green, near the hole from short of the green, after the green, technically, chipping. So I've got a rise up to the green here. It's probably about maybe a 4 or 5 foot rise. There's a little false back or false front, depending on which way you're looking at this green, and then it rolls down towards the hole. Greens are pretty soft today. So the first thing I need to assess, and you need to assess, is what the lie is like. And the lie here is actually quite nice. It's a tight lie, but the ball is set up. So if I wanted to play a lob wedge, what I'd be doing here is focusing on my landing point. So the lob wedge, I just want to be stopping it basically at the top of the slope and then letting it dribble down towards the hole. The ball position for me here would be quite central, shaft leaning back a little bit, well certainly feeling like it's leaning back, turning the body back and through, using the bounce, just focusing on that point that I want to land the ball. Carried it a touch too far. This left me about 3 foot there. So I've had the official practice round today. Actually played with Paul Hendrickson, who is Dan Hendrickson's brother, off of YouTube. If you're not checked out Dan Hendrickson's channel, make sure you do that. And he's a very good player and actually the defending champion of this event. So to see him go around the course and to understand a little bit about what I should be looking at on this golf course was very useful. And just look at... So this is the Airbnb I'm staying. You might be able to see it up there, that horse on the hillside. So nice. In maybe not ideal news though, my wrist is really giving me some jip. I've basically got pain along the back of the wrist, which is now radiating to go around the top of my hand and across the back of my knuckles, and also my thumb. There's issues here. It's not great. Well, that was a painful first round in so many ways. So first of all, a negative on putting. Putting has actually been a strength recently with some of the videos I've been doing. I've been using the arm lock method and everything's been feeling much better. I didn't put great yesterday during the practice round, but I wasn't really concentrating that much. It was just, you know, seeing where the misses were on the greens, having a few putts, just trying to get the pace of the surfaces. It was nothing too in-depth. And I think I really paid the price today. So I shot 10 over and that's my worst score in a comp in ages. I started with 8 bogeys. That's never good. But my green reading did not take into account grain. Now grain, if you're unaware, is basically patches of grass which grow in a different direction and they angle the ball in the direction of which they're growing. Now this isn't an issue normally in the UK, but the greens at Bowood, they're so grainy and I just did not take that into account. I couldn't get used to that grain. So after the round, I actually chatted to Simon Lucas, who's a fellow PGA Pro. He shot 1 under today. And he was basically talking about how he'd hold it from everywhere. And this video really shows how grain affects the ball. So this is a hole on the putting green. It's a dead straight putt to the naked eye. I'll hit this putt here and just notice how it actually wanders off to the right-hand side. Now, like I said, this is a straight putt. This is a flat bit of the green. And that is how much grain can affect where the ball is going. It's not only from left to right or right to left. We're also talking if you're putting into grain, it's much slower. If you're putting down grain, it's much quicker. And a basic way of telling this, certainly around the hole, is if you have a look at the cup and you just notice the patch or the side of the cup which seems almost slightly burnt away. That will indicate the direction which the grain is going to go. So here on a second putt from a very similar position on that green, I would aim it just outside the left and allow it to curve in. And that's nothing to do with slope, that's all to do with the way the grass is growing. So my left wrist has been giving me some jip recently. Yesterday it was quite sore and today it was just really painful. If I can just get around, I want to try and complete 2 rounds if I can. So these videos are a lot worse to make when things go wrong. So shot 4 over in the second round, putted much better. The little bit of practice I did on the green and understanding grain a little bit more was an absolutely massive benefit. I think I had 7 less putts in the second round compared to the first, which is a massive saving if you think about it. But there was a couple of things that I'm really not that happy about. The routines I was going through and everything that I spoke about really at the start of this video, I was actually quite comfortable with and I was doing it pretty well, but confidence is definitely low, and generally my mental approach and my clarity around shots is still nowhere near where it needs to be. I stuck to my game plan pretty much all the way around, apart from, so the first shot of the second round, I pulled into water. I wasn't confident when I stepped up. I should have taken a step away, but I didn't. And just all throughout the round, there was a sense that I was holding on a little bit. My mentality around my play and what I'm trying to do, it's just not right at the moment. I just feel, yeah, mega low on confidence. A lot of you guys have suggested this, and I am going to do this, to do some videos and to work with a sports performance coach or a golf psychologist, someone like that. But also I'm not going to be able to play in comps for a few weeks anyway. My wrist held up okay on the second round. It was still quite sore, but I was able to manage it and I stayed out of all the thick rough, so that was a bonus. But on my 15th hole, I had a really bad back spasm. So from the top of my left hip, pretty much halfway up the middle of my back, just felt like someone had just tightened it. And I thought, well, you know, maybe it's just one of those things, but it was hurting for the rest of the round. I could hardly turn or swing. And then this morning I've got up and yeah, I won't be playing for a few weeks, which middle of the year is obviously very disappointing. It's inconsequential, I know, and it's very personal to me, but yeah, it's just annoying at the moment. So let me know what you think about those routines. Hopefully you can put some of those in action and they will help you out. It's a disappointing miscut in another of the big PJ events I've qualified for. The Leeds Cup, which is one of my favorite events of the year, and I always tend to do quite well in it. That's coming up in just over 2 weeks. So it's basically a race to try and be okay for that, but we'll see.